Bueno, buenas tardes, caballero, mi gente. Vamos a comenzar la final. Diablos contra Cougars. Ya ustedes ven el mejor equipo del campeonato. Con 4-0 contra la poderosa ofensiva de Diablos que tiene más honrones y es uno de los equipos más productivos de esta Champions League de béisbol. Veremos quién se lleva la derrota. Vamos a compartir, vamos a darle like, vamos a suscribirnos para poder seguir avanzando y llevarle a ustedes, mi público, un mejor producto de calidad y próximas transmisiones que se vienen. Diablos Rojos, Coward, ¿quién gana? Déjenmelo en los comentarios.
On the first pitch from Connor Ash to Carlos Silpaveda is swung on and missed, and we are underway from Estadio Alfredo Harpelú in Mexico City. Glad to welcome you back here inside the broadcast booth. Trevor Curl, Colin Rudisell standing by. Chad Ekron behind us, the 0-1. Breaking ball just misses down low for a ball to even things up at 1-1. And Carlos Silpaveda, a day off yesterday after getting hit in a hand back on Friday evening, is back in the starting lineup, and this is a Diablos team that did not need his efforts yesterday in the 36 runs they put up against the Crocodiles. But his bat and his glove, a huge lift in this lineup card with Connor Ash, a ball and 2 strikes on the leadoff batter. The Cougars in their home whites. Navy caps, Diablos in red with gray. The 1-2. Fastball taken northbound for ball 2 to even things up at 2-2. Well, for Connor Ash, things did not look so pretty for him the first time around against Diablos. 2 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, only 1 were earned. Walked 3, struck out 1 with a 4.5 ERA in his lone outing. 2-2, bounce on the ground to the shortstop. Peralta has time. So Paveda is out on the ground out, and that is how Baseball Champions League Sunday gets started. So that's Connor Ash. Let's take a look at the defense behind him, going left to right in the outfield. Dylan Thomas, Armand Upshaw, Max Murphy patrol the ground in the outfield. Around the horn of the infield, Claudio Final, Elvis Peralta, Josh Allen, Josh Raywald, with Juan Fernandez. The back end of the battery will be doing the catching. I'll bring up Moises Gutierrez. The first pitch from Ash. Fastball right on the inside corner for a strike. The umpires for this afternoon's contest, Keith McConkey behind home plate has balls and strikes. Edwin Hernandez at first base. Julio Molina at second. Carlos Leon at third. The 0-1 to Gutierrez. Swinging a tapper right in front of home plate. It's ruled foul, nothing in 2. The 2 outfield umpires, Janet Moreno down the left field line and David Solis down the right field line.
This is already a much better start from Connor Ash than what we saw in Game 1. He started both hitters he's faced now with a first pitch strike, and he's gotten ahead in the count. We've not seen a lot of that in Game 1.
The wind in the 0-2. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Buried in the dirt. Juan Fernandez applies the tag. Connor Ash with his first strikeout, 2 quick outs to bring up Jose Marmoleos.
And it's what Connor Ash has done so well in Kane County, just being a strikeout artist and using those pitch mix-ups after he gets ahead in the count. He goes with the breaking ball there. He had 1 strikeout in his entire outing in the first game against Diablos. Already starts his first inning with 1.
132 strikeouts last season in 2025. First pitch to Marmoleos. He takes down low for ball 1. And what we've seen so far from Ash is his ability to just go right after hitters. He is not afraid to go with the fastball. In an environment like this, you cannot be afraid to utilize that fastball to your advantage. The 1-0 is down low and outside. And this is the gauntlet of this Diablos lineup. It starts here with Jose Marmoleos, followed up by John Singleton, and with Michael Franco having a big night last night, he is now a part of the gauntlet. 2-0. Down low for ball 3. John Singleton and his power awaits on deck. He has been a menace over the last couple of games. And with 3 balls on the card, the alarms have sounded here inside Estadio Alfredo Harpelú. A full shifted infield. 3-0, right down the middle for a called strike. It was postseason play for Connor Ash. He went 3-1 with a 4.20 ERA. Started 4 of the 5 games he pitched with 20 strikeouts. The 3-1, line drive, back up the middle, a base hit. Jose Marmoleos gets the Diablos offense going with 2 outs in the top of the first to set up John Singleton.
Well, we're starting to see Jose Marmoleos' bat come to life. It was a bit of a slow start for him, although you go back to that second game, he did hit a double off Connor Ash in that first inning, so he has certainly seen Ash well in this tournament.
So that sets up John Singleton. 8 for 18 with a couple of doubles and 2 home runs. 9 RBIs, 4 of them on 1 swing. He had the grand slam in the top of the 9th inning against the Brothers back on Thursday night. Beg your pardon, make that Friday night. First pitch, down low, ball 1. And Connor Ash, this is where he's going to have to be at his best. With Marmoleos back up and rolling again. Singleton, we have seen his power, followed up by Michael Franco. That is 3 consecutive former big leaguers with a ton of power at the show level. 1-0, a beauty on the outside corner for a strike to even things up at 1.
I think it's safe to say Singleton is the most powerful bat we have seen in this entire tournament. Seems like everything that flies off of it is being hit hard, and a couple of times flying over the wall.
1-1 has him out front, 1-2. Well, the wind is going to be a factor as it has been all week, but so far today it is gently breezing just out to dead center field. Take a look at James Caprilli, and he'll start for the Diablos when they go out on defense for the bottom half of the first. Ashen is 1-2. Swing and a miss for strike 3. The second strikeout for Connor Ash. And he leaves the top of the first inning unscathed. We go to the bottom half. Kane County with their chance to swing it here on Championship Sunday. tournament. And here's the first pitch on the way from Caprillion. Fouled back to the netting, and that is how Kane County's offense will get going here in the bottom of the first. What a tournament so far for Peralta. 8 for 13, 3 doubles, 1 home run, and 2 runs batted in. A speed threat as usual at the top of the lineup card. The 0-1 is taken outside. Well, this is where Kane County is going to need to get things rolling. It starts at the top of their order, and they've got a couple of dangerous batters of their own. Now, they don't have the gauntlet like the Diablos do with Marmoleos, Singleton, and then Franco, but they do have their own pocket of danger. The 1-1 right on the inside for strike. 1-2. And it really starts from Dylan Thomas to Todd Lott and Josh Raywell. It's their own 3, 4, and 5 who has done some damage. You can even add Max Murphy at the 6th spot, who has acted almost like a second leadoff in this lineup card for Kane County.
Yeah, they've certainly been flashing the power and taking turns at it as well. And Elvis Peralta, a guy that is the real table setter for that, he was not a part of the lineup in this first game against the Diablos, as Sam Dexter got the start at short. So first time seeing Caprillion's arm.
The 1-2 takes low and outside. Well, the former big leaguer James Caprillion, you'll remember most of his time being with the Oakland Athletics back in the day. 66 games in the show, 58 starts, 318 innings on a big league mound. The 2-2 downstairs for ball 3. And Caprillion missed out on the entire 2025 season. Last bit of action was in 2024 with the Toronto Blue Jays organization, mostly with Class AAA Buffalo. And now here in the LMB with Diablos. The 3-2. Swing and a miss. Elvis Peralta goes chasing upstairs. And the first out of the inning is a strikeout to bring up Josh Allen. Take a look left to right in the outfield for the Diablos. But first, the lineup card for the Kane County Cougars. Elvis Peralta, Josh Allen, Dylan Thomas, Todd Lott, Josh Raywell, Max Murphy, Juan Fernandez, Claudio Final, and Armand Upshaw rounds off the 9. So here's Josh Allen. He greeted Caprillion with a double back on Tuesday night. First pitch takes ball 1 upstairs. Brian Gonzalez, Ramon Flores, Jose Marmoleos in the outfield for Diablos. Michael Franco, Carlos Sepulveda, Moises Gutierrez, Rio Ruiz around the horn with Francisco Mejia doing the catching. 1-0 is a check swing foul.
What a way to introduce himself to this Diablos order. Josh Allen in that second game of the BCL. 4 times aboard, once with a home run and a double.
Caprillion was drafted twice, once out of high school by the Seattle Mariners in the 40th round of the 2012 Major League Draft. And then once again by the New York Yankees in the first round, 16th overall of the 2015 draft out of UCLA. The 1-2 bounces in. His debut game was in that COVID season, August the 16th. Versus the San Francisco Giants, pitched 2 innings, gave up a hit, struck out a batter, and an earned run. His final game in the show is at the age of 29 on June the 23rd of 2023. A 6-inning performance versus the Toronto Blue Jays. The 2-2. A swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts for Caprillion. 2 away now to bring up Dylan Thomas.
Well, we mentioned it at the top. 5 strikeouts for James Caprillion in 2 2/3 pitch in this first game against the Cougars, and he is showing off right now why he is the best on paper that this Diablos team has to offer on the mound.
So here's a former big leaguer on the Kane County Cougars roster, Dylan Thomas, and he has had a fine tournament in his own right. 6 for 16 with a couple of doubles. First pitch swinging, Thomas sky high to right field. Marmoleos gives chase, but he's gonna watch it clank halfway up the first rows of seats. Dylan Thomas, welcome to the party. A solo shot in the
Primera
Kane
carrera
County
del partido,
Cougars lead 1-0.
monstruoso jonrón de Kane Cougars, del equipo. Bueno, vamos a ver cómo puede responder los Diablos en este inning ahora.
So far, not the tournament.
De mucho bateo.
Well, I should say, not what we've seen from Dylan Thomas in this tournament. He's done a lot of walks, patient at bats, getting himself aboard, setting up others. But he goes out there and does it himself, blasting his first home run of this BCL.
An ambush on James Caprillion. And Kane County strikes in the home half of inning number 1. That sets up Todd Lott. First pitch, takes a breaking ball for a strike. And Dylan Thomas had only 2 runs batted in until now with 3. His production has been on the run side, scoring now 7 times. The 0-1 to Todd Lott. Goes outside chasing for swinging strike 2. 3 for 12. 2 of those hits have been long balls. 4 RBIs for the cleanup batter for George Samus. Gonna be doing the DHing today. 0-2. Bounces in. But that is a start that you were looking for Kane County. One of the big league talent guys on this offense. And he shows up on one big swing to set the tone. The 1-2. Goes outside for ball 2. And it looked like Caprillion was on a cruise control through the first 2 batters. A battle with Elvis Peralta. He won with a strikeout swinging. Same with Josh Allen. But it was a first pitch swing by Dylan Thomas that left the ballpark. The 2-2. Ground ball to third. Franco has it played comfortably. And the inning's over. But Dylan Thomas starts the show off with a solo shot. 1-0 Kane County. We go to the second.
Se termina el inning, se lleva Cougars la primera carrera de juego. Vamos a ver cómo responde Diablo. Vamos, muchachos. Vamos a dar like.
Harpelu, 5-6-7 due up for the Diablos in the top of the second. They'll start with Michael Franco, followed by Ramon Flores and Francisco Mejia. Connor Ash back out to work after a strong first inning, only gave up 1 hit, struck out 2 batters. First pitch to Michael Franco, called strike 1. Well, Franco, it took him a while in this tournament to get going, but 7 for 20 with a home run, 2 doubles, and 10 runs batted in. A lot of the damage done last night. Little cue shot out in front of home plate. Juan Fernandez picks it up, fires to first. 1 gone here in the second.
Well, if you're George Samus, you have to really like what you've seen from your ace so far in Connor Ash. He has started every single hitter with a first pitch strike. So different than what we saw in that first game against the Diablos. And this is the first time he's been able to pitch with a lead in this tournament.
A little spinner that just stayed up like a balloon. Franco, we've seen him be out in front quite a bit so far here in BCL play. First pitch taken for a strike to Flores. He was slotted in the leadoff spot while Sepulveda was out yesterday. Had a couple of long home runs in that game as a leadoff batter. Back in his familiar spot in the back half of the order, a swing and miss. Down 0-2, and this is the Connor Ash that we are used to seeing in the American Association, quickly ahead of batters and in the driver's seat. 0-2 on Flores. 2 strikeouts already so far. The 0-2. Bounces in 58 feet in front of home plate for a ball. The 1-2 from Ash. Got him. Chasing in the dirt. He's in a cruise mode here through an inning and 2/3. 2 outs for his 3rd strikeout, bringing up Francisco Mejia.
Yeah, you said it, and this is where Connor Ash can get really dangerous, is when he starts to settle into a game. There are not many men who get down 0-2 against Ash and live to tell the tale, and that was the case with Ramon Flores here.
3 doubles for Francisco Mejia so far in BCL play, and he's way out in front for a swinging strike. And it was a long game yesterday for this Diablos ball club. While they did put up 36 runs, it was also a 4-hour and 8-minute contest, which made history as the longest ever baseball Champions League game. Quick turnaround 2 this afternoon. And is that going to be a factor, especially as we hit the middle innings and maybe even into the later innings?
I think that's what we've been discussing. I mean, as soon as that game was over and even during the game, how much fatigue might play as a factor for this Diablos team. And on the flip side, I mean, is it actually a motivational tool for them? You know, it seemed like they couldn't miss the baseball against Cuba. Could they take that into this game against Kane County?
Well, 2 things can be true at once. 2-1. Swinging a bouncer to first, giving ground Raywald. Connor Ash will cover the bag at first, and it's a 1-2-3, top of the 2nd. A shutdown inning for the Cougars. We go to the bottom of the 2nd. Kane County leads by 1.
De 1, 2 y 3 retira los americanos, los gringos, que mierda. No, vamos a ver cómo avanzamos, a ver si México hace algo. Se ve bien, se ve sólido el pitch, el gringo a 93 millas por hora. Espero que se mantenga así cerrado, México puede darse la victoria al final. Vamos a dar like, muchachos, gracias a los usuarios que estamos ahí simultáneos, gracias por las visualizaciones. Vamos a hacer una suscripción, vamos a ayudar al canal. Un like, compartan, suscríbete, ayuda a que a los demás le llegue. Muchas gracias por estar ahí y el apoyo.
Pitch from James Caprillion, chopped to second. Moises Gutierrez has it played comfortably. The first out of the inning is a ground out. Well, Dylan Thomas, first pitch he saw back in the bottom of the first inning, left the ballpark down the right field line. This is the middle of the order for Kane County that has had their success. Josh Raywald, 5 hits in the tournament. Now that brings up Max Murphy, batting 6th as the second half of this lineup card. First pitch swinging, comes up empty.
What a tournament it's been for Max Murphy so far. He has been showing it off in a lot of different ways. You see that batting average at 500. He's had a couple of big flies and has been playing a great right field for this Cougars team.
One of those home runs came against Diablos back on Tuesday night. 0-1 fouled off first base side, 0-2. Murphy faced Caprillion. It was just once. It was a strikeout looking back in the top of the second. That was a game where Kane County won 14-7. Home runs coming from Max Murphy, Josh Allen, Claudio Final, and Todd Lott. The 0-2. Up and away. Well, the question is, will Caprillion have a bit of a longer leash? Again, we've talked about this many times so far on the broadcast, that this is still a spring training atmosphere. Well, maybe not today because of a championship game on the line. But everyone trying to get their strengths forward as we focus towards the spring training season in LMB play and then eventually to their season. 1-2 is fouled off the first base side, and we've seen some guys have a little bit of a stricter pitch count. Guys like Caprillion who are coming back from injury over the course of their career, and we saw that with some of their bullpen arms over the last few games as well.
Yeah, and this is speculation, but I wonder if maybe he was on a shorter leash in a pitch count in that first game against the Cougars, just in preparation for this championship game.
1-2 comebacker on a bounce to Caprillion. Throws a first, dug out by Rio Ruiz. Could have been trouble, but it's handled by the first baseman, 2 away for Juan Fernandez.
Yeah, and Caprillion gave him props. That was a really nice pick by Rio Ruiz, and this could have turned into trouble real fast if he wasn't able to put a glove on it. We'll get another look, because this comes in so quick when you're that close. And look, you can see Caprillion reacting. Great pick there by Ruiz.
Well, pitchers usually throw down a mound. Caprillion was kind of throwing up a mound. So here's Juan Fernandez. First pitch. Takes strike.
I'll give Caprillion credit, too. I mean, he had that one mistake to Dylan Thomas, and other than that, he's been cruising through the early part of this Cougars lineup.
Both starting pitchers have on the other side Connor Ash for Kane County. The 0-1 taken outside.
And I think that's something we thought we might see in this game, Trevor, is just a little bit more control from both of these guys now that they've kind of gotten their feet underneath them and knowing what's at stake. I mean, these are both gamers.
From Valencia, Venezuela for Juan Fernandez. The age of 27. Fouled off first base side. Recently celebrated his 27th birthday back on March the 7th. Fitting, he's wearing the number 27 here for this tournament. Reached Class AAA at the San Diego Padres organization in El Paso back in 2022. Has been a staple in the Venezuela Winter League for the last few seasons. An all-star, that was in 2025. That was at his home ballpark in Fargo. 1-2. Taken outside. And Juan Fernandez is one of the more keen eyes that you see across the American Association. Does not strike out a lot, is a high-contact bat in this lineup here for Kane County. And does you favors here, especially in this elevation. The 2-2. There's a drive to left, sending back Gonzalez. Still ranging back, looks up, it kicks off the top of the wall. Fernandez will test second. He's going to get there standing up. A 2-out ringing double off the very tippy top of the left field wall. And Kane County has a man in scoring position with 2 outs.
Kane County has done a lot of damage with 2-out hitting and finding success and driving in runs. This was just missed by Fernandez. You see it bounce off the fence. And props to Fernandez. We've seen a lot of guys that hit deep balls and just kind of watch it. He was on his horse right away to make sure he could get into scoring position for Claudio Final.
Well, it was about a head-high line drive, so Fernandez knew that there might have been a chance it was going to go, but he did not want to be just sitting on first base for Claudio Final. First pitch swinging, pulled foul. It's been a pretty good tournament for Final. 7 hits, a double, a home run, 4 RBIs. His lone home run came against this Diablos ball club. It was a BB over the bullpens beyond the left field fence. And this is a Kane County team that has done it a little bit of everything. And going into today's game, they batted .387 throughout pool play, 10 home runs, 14 doubles, a team OPS of 1.152. Scored 48 runs. And take out was a monster inning, or monster game, I should say, yesterday for the Diablos, and the numbers are quite similar. Diablos hit 11 home runs in pool play, 14 doubles of their own, 65 runs scored, a 1.213 OPS from the host team. And again, a little bit of those stats were inflated after a big scoring of yesterday, but again, we knew what kind of Diablos team we could be seeing. We just hadn't seen them until yesterday, and things got inflated quite quickly. The 1-1. Final back up the middle. Sepulveda has it played comfortably over to first to end the inning. Kane County leaves a runner in scoring position. We go to the third. Still 1-0 Cougars here on AA Baseball TV.
Vamos arriba, muchachos, vamos a darle un like. Gracias a Josh por los comentarios. Tenemos ahí 26 visualizaciones y tenemos usuarios ahí conectados viendo la programación. Muchas gracias. Vamos arriba, vamos arriba. Vamos a apoyar el canal. Vamos arriba, Diablo.
Ash and the Kane County Cougars have a 1-0 lead going into the top half of inning number 3. 8-9-1 due up. Rio Ruiz, Brian Gonzalez, and the top of the order, Carlos Sepulveda, are due up against the Cougars right-hander. First pitch to Ruiz is taken for a strike. And the shadows are slowly starting to creep their way out in front of home plate, and the only question is, how difficult will it be for the hitters to adjust to those shadows? Squaring around a bunt, pulls back. No go around at third base, says Carlos Leon. Cougars shifting Ruiz. Claudio Final was playing hybrid shortstop third base, is now playing a little bit closer and even with the second and third base bags. 1-1, bounced on the ground, and he beats the shift the other way. A leadoff single from Rio Ruiz, and the tying run is aboard here in the top of the third. And by showing bunt, that brought Final in, and that might be the reason why Ruiz is not heading back to the dugout and is standing on first.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that was by design or not, but he showed the bunt. As you said, that brought in Final from pretty much playing a quasi-shortstop, and then he hit it exactly where Final was playing originally. It's a really nice piece of hitting by Rio Ruiz.
So the first time the Diablos have a man on to lead off an inning. Here's Brian Gonzalez. First pitch swinging, comes up empty. And he has been a big fixture in the back half of the lineup card, specifically either in the 7th, 8th, or 9th spot, hitting 9 today. 7 for 16, 2 home runs, 6 runs batted in. It took Gonzalez a little bit, but he has also showed up to Baseball Champions League, especially in the last couple of ball games. 0-1 pulled on the ground foul, nothing in 2.
Ash has started every single hitter the first time through with the first pitch strike, and I think it has really helped him get into a position to hunt a strikeout, or in this case, potentially a ground ball, and set up the double play.
From Villamella, Dominican Republic, Brian Gonzalez. Age of 24 years old, signed as an international free agent as the Red Sox in 2018 at the age of 16. Now in his age 24 season, he's getting ready to play here for the Diablos Rojos after a 2025 season that saw him in the Kansas City Royals organization, mostly with Class High A Quad City. A move to first base. Back and diving safely is Rio Ruiz. The Diablos chop is in effect. 1 ball, 2 strikes, top half of inning number 3rd, 1-0 Kane County. And Brian Gonzalez wants a little extra time. The infield slightly shifted to the pull side for Gonzalez. Josh Allen vacating the 4-hole. Josh Raywald holding the man on at first. That right side of the infield opened up. Another move to first. Ruiz back in standing, and the Diablos faithful is letting Connor Ash know their opinions.
Yeah, they're starting to get loud.
The 1-2. Bounces in the dirt. Up to second, Ruiz. The throw from Fernandez kicks away from Josh Allen. The ball goes into shallow center, but Rio Ruiz will take second on the
Vamos arriba, Diablo, vamos arriba.
Aggressive base
Vamos arriba,
running.
tenemos hombre en segunda asignada. Vamos a ver si podemos hacer una, vamos a empatar esto. Si se puede, si se puede.
Well, Ruiz, despite this ball having to go down and get it and bounce it in, actually puts it on a perfect position. It's just Ruiz got there a little bit quicker and kind of kicked this ball away for no chance of Josh Allen being able to pick it out. It just rolls itself into the outfield.
If Josh Allen were to be able to catch that ball and hang on to it, that throw was on the money from Fernandez. But as it stands, Ruiz now aboard at second. 2-2. Down in the dirt again, Fernandez blocks the Pearl. Full 3-2, sound the alarms.
Good at bat by Gonzalez. He was down 0-2 in this count. He's worked himself all the way back now and has a runner in scoring position.
Vamos muchachos, vamos al like, vamos al like. Esos likes van a hacer que esa carrera entre. Vamos,
so
vamos.
far in the early going. Still nobody out here in the top of inning number 3. A step off of second. And once again, Connor Ash is hearing this Diablos crowd. Just keeping a close eye on Rio Ruiz.
I don't know how many times Connor Ash has had to try to find a put-away pitch when he's hearing screaming fans, but then air horns and blow horns and all sorts of other things.
Vamos arriba, México.
3-2 is
Venga!
popped shot. Elvis Peralta
Vamos.
will back up and make the catch for the first out of the
sí,
inning.
pero no,
And the lineup
no.
card turns to the top for the second time around. It starts with Carlos Sepulveda.
It was a good job by Ash to keep his composure despite all of that, because it got loud here at Estadio Alfredo Harpelou. He's just able to find his spot and get some weak contact from Brian Gonzalez, and Peralta makes the easy play.
That's a big first out. Sepulveda was a ground-out victim his first time up to lead off the ball game. Kane County with a slim but 1-0 lead. Squares around, pulls back, and takes ball one in the dirt.
Good to see Sepulveda back in this lineup. We didn't know the extent of his injury when it happened, and even if it's not for having a big bat in this Diablos lineup, just with the season about to start, you don't want to have anything that's going to make him have to miss time because of this tournament.
The 1-0 on the outer half for a strike. Even things up at 1. Sepulveda, an OPS of a 1.255 so far in the tournament. 3 doubles, no home runs, 2 runs batted in. Bounces in, stopped by Fernandez. Sepulveda had 2 balls and a strike.
Yeah, Ash was really having that off-speed pitch working in the first couple of innings. Now he's just missing it a little bit too low. That's the 4th or 5th ball we've seen bounce into Juan Fernandez.
Two balls and a strike, 1 out. Coming in Ash. Ground ball to second. Handled by Josh Allen to first. 2 away. Up to third, Rio Ruiz moves up 90 feet. I'll bring up Moises Gutierrez.
This is where the real challenge starts for Connor Ash and this Cougars defense. You have 2 outs. You were able to recover so far from the leadoff single. But with Moises Gutierrez up, who has been a massive bat for this Diablos in the tournament, and Jose Marmoleos and John Singleton to follow, this has the makings potentially of the start of a big inning.
Well, the goal for Ash would be to start out a fresh inning having Jose Marmoleos lead off. First pitch to Gutierrez, chases in the dirt. I like the way Connor Ash has so far been starting out almost every single batter with a strike. And he's been mixing it up too, especially the second time through the order. It hasn't just been gas and go. He's been utilizing his breaking and off-speed stuff. The 0-1. Right on the inner black for a strike.
Dropped it off the shelf on the first one and absolutely painted on the second with a fastball. Now 0-2, he can go just about anywhere to try to get out of this inning.
Connor Ash has 3 strikeouts so far on the afternoon. The 0-2. Swinging a tapper foul, first base side. And we'll do this again. Every inning with a man in scoring position feels like it's almost like the biggest pitch of the day. The 0-2. Bounces in the dirt. Fernandez swallows it up and keeps it in front of him. And it's going to be a big day for Juan Fernandez behind home plate to avoid allowing free bases. And he's been up to the task so far. Everything has been stopped behind the dish.
And it's huge. I mean, you go back to that first game between these two teams. Ash did have a ball go to the wall that gave up a run early in the contest for the Diablos to take an early lead.
Ash is 1-2. Just off the outside. Count evens. The Shadows have now just gone right in front of home plate, and eventually, maybe by the end of the next half inning or so, we will see those shadows start to play effect here on the hitters and their eyesight. The 2-2. Straightens him up for ball 3. And the always threatening Jose Marmoleos awaits on deck. It started out as an 0-2 count from Connor Ash. He is now at 3-2. Tying run 90 feet away at third. The payoff. Swing and a miss for strike three. Connor Ash silences the crowd here in the top of the third. We go to the bottom half. Kane County still ahead 1-0.
Ah, buen ponche acaba de sacar este pitch. Se ve sólido. Amenazó Diablo, pero no pudo. Vamos a esperar ahí a ver si lo agarramos para la próxima. Vamos a dar like, muchachos. Vamos a dar like. Muchas gracias por los que se conectaron. Muchas gracias por los que están. Muchas gracias a los que escriben. Muchas gracias a los que comparten. Muchas gracias a todos. Seguimos en combate.
He's given up 2 hits so far, both of them extra bases. Dylan Thomas with a home run in the first, and then Juan Fernandez, a 2-out double. He was left stranded in the second. First pitch to Armand Upshaw, and he wears it in the elbow guard. Speeds aboard to open up inning number 3. And that will bring the top of the order, Elvis Peralta, and the second time around for the Cougars.
We saw Upshaw lead off in the first game against the Diablos, kind of that second leadoff now in that 9 spot. And great speed aboard, as you mentioned, especially Peralta is able to find a hole or a gap and get them both aboard. All of a sudden, a lot can happen with those two guys.
Well, this is where Kane County can start taking advantage. 3 base runners are a rarity, especially in championship baseball games. Move over to first base. Diving safely is Upshaw. And Michael Franco, there is no fear from him. He is playing on the infield turf. He is expecting some small ball from Peralta. Good wheels in his own right. Holding the man on at first, Rio Ruiz. Upshaw really extends his lead out. And he had him leading, and a balk is called. Armand Upshaw will get a free 90 feet, and James Caprillion, he is the victim of a balk. So 2 free bases already for Kane County. It starts with a hit by a pitch, and then it's the balk on James Caprillion, and up to 90 feet to second goes Upshaw. And now that makes the job even easier for Peralta. First pitch inside, almost gets away from Francisco Mejia.
Corners in for the Diablos. Still maybe expecting Peralta to try to lay one down.
He took a count full back in the bottom of the first inning. He ended up striking out. 1-0, swung on and fouled off.
We've seen this a lot this tournament, but Jose Marmoleos is pushing far over in right field towards that gap and leaving the line pretty exposed down the right field line.
1-1, just misses up and away. And we've talked about this with Chris Coase, bench coach for Kane County in the tournament. You cannot leave runners in scoring position, especially when you're given 2 gifts before a pitch was even thrown to the next batter, Elvis Peralta. 2-1. In the dirt, taken for ball 3.
Well, the Cougars have done that better than about anybody in this tournament, taking advantage of the mistakes, the walks, the free passes, and driving in those runs.
Three one. Line drive at second, caught by Gutierrez, back to second, safe. Upshaw able to tiptoe his way ahead of Silpaveda. On the screws, Elvis Peralta has a base hit taken away from him on a line out.
Qué reacción, un felino. Wow. Observen esto.
Just needed a little bit more on the exit, or I should say the degree on this one. It was just a little bit too low, and a nice jump up by Gutierrez. It was a heads-up play by Armand Upshaw. Instead of thinking about how he's going to score, getting back to second in time and not getting doubled up.
Well, this Kane County Cougars ball club has walked 22 times so far in the tournament. First pitch to Josh Allen, takes low and outside, and they are a very patient bunch. An on-base percentage as a ball club as a .472. Josh Allen, he struck out back in the first, 0 for 1. 1-0 is yanked outside for ball 2. In the driver's seat is Allen. And this is a part of the order where Kane County can do their damage. With Dylan Thomas, who has already homered today, sitting on deck, you would love to see him come up with maybe multiple runners on base. A long pause from Cabrillion, a couple looks back at second. Upshaw dancing. 2-0 is fouled off.
You mentioned the walks. Josh Allen is definitely somebody that is in a ton of command on where his zone is and just having a laser sharp eye. Led the American Association in walks in the postseason. Team high on the Cougars as well.
2-1. Swing and a miss. Big breaking ball gets a rip on it. 2-2. A leadoff hit by a pitch to Armand Upshaw. Advance to second on a balk. The line out from Elvis Peralta. Now Josh Allen at 2-2. Just off the low outside corner. And Josh Allen now has a full 3-2. And now we start seeing some action in the Diablos bullpen. A right-hander starting to move around. Looks like Justin Courtney is up and tossing. Three-two. Down low, ball 4. So Askin and you shall receive 2 free passes in the bottom half of inning number 3. And up comes Dylan Thomas with Josh Allen and Armand Upshaw on first and second.
Josh Allen does the job, gets another player out there for Dylan Thomas, who's had the biggest swing of the game. That solo shot in the first inning. An opportunity to do more damage.
This is where Kane County needs to take advantage. The buzz in the ballpark has now gone to a bit of a murmur. First pitch, pulled inside. And I had that as one of my keys to the game, was Kane County needing to keep this crowd from being a factor in this game. And so far, they've done their job, keeping a tying run 90 feet away at third, back in the top of the third inning. And now they have traffic aboard here in the bottom of the third. The 1-0. Thomas on the ground at first, picked by Ruiz to second for 1. Back to first. Cabrillion just gets there ahead of Dylan Thomas.
Buen doble play, un poco ortodoxo, pero buen doble play que termina el inning. Sigue el juego cerrado, una carrera por 0. Y parece que esta final va a estar interesante, ¿eh? Yo pensaba que iba a ser un poco más de bateo, pero por el momento el picheo está dominando. Vamos a ver qué hacen los diablos. Vamos a dar like, muchachos. Tenemos 8 usuarios simultáneos. Vamos a dar like, vamos a dar like, vamos a compartir para que la gente nos vea. Vamos subiendo a 10, vamos subiendo a 11, vamos subiendo a 12. Eso me gusta. Like, 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 comparte. Muchas gracias, mi gente. Vamos, vamos. Ahora me ponen aquí a este
That's a nice
chico
shade on you.
la propaganda y el juego andando por el otro
Carlos,
lado.
don't overthink it.
Vamos, muchachos, vamos a dar like.
The 0-1 to Jose Marmoleos. He takes outside. One of 2 hits for the Diablos as we're in the top half of inning number 4. We're already a third of the way through this afternoon's ball game, and it is a tight 1-0 King County lead. The 1-1. A swing over the top from Marmoleos. 1-2 now.
Well, it's still very early in this game, but so far through the first third, it is unlike any game we've seen so far in the tournament. I think we kind of suspected that might happen with the pitching with Connor Ash and James Caprillion, and they have certainly rose to the occasion.
2 of the best teams in the tournament going at it, and it is quite clear of why they are here playing for Sunday glory. Kane County a perfect 4-0, making their way to Sunday. Had a little stress back on Saturday, but were able to hang tight against Dantos. 1-2 fastball misses northbound. And then for Diablos, well, their tournament started the complete opposite way. It was a surprise victory by Kane County that ended up being a 14-7 win. They had to dig themselves out of their own hole early on and were able to find their way back into Sunday. The 2-2. Taken for a called third strike. Jose Marmoleos frozen in the left-handed batter's box. Back-to-back Ks for Connor Ash in his 5th of the ball game. The first out of the top of the 4th inning.
What a way to start by Ash against Jose Marmoleos. It's just that off-speed pitch. He's really, really doing a good job positioning that one when he's in a strikeout situation, especially when he hasn't had anybody aboard.
So here's John Singleton. He was the 2nd strikeout victim of Connor Ash. First pitch swinging, he's out in front. And
Ash
this is
one
where
of
we're
those guys
seeing
that isn't going to overwhelm you with velocity, but when he is hitting his spots and he's able to get ahead in counts, his arm action is so that when it's coming over the top, every pitch looks exactly the same. It's hard to pick it up out of the hand. And by the time you do, it's probably too late.
The 0-1. Just misses his spot. You're in the middle of the gauntlet, 2nd time around through the order for Connor Ash. 1-1, yanked foul down the first base side. And this is not an easy lineup to get those first pitch strikes and be able to get ahead and stay ahead. And you have to utilize your entire arsenal against Diablos, and your pinpoint control has to be on target. Also, we've seen what we've seen from the rest of the tournament against Diablos. 1-2 misses up high. We see another shifted infield, and we have seen these infielders be moving around all over the place. John Singleton is no different story. Josh Allen in shallow right field. The 2-2. Downstairs for ball 3. Claudio Final playing a straight-up shortstop position. Elvis Peralta swinging around to the other side on the outfield turf. Full count of 3-2, and as usual here from Estadio Alfredo Harpelu, the alarm sound. 3-2. Swing and a miss. Is a foul ball. Just able to fight and stay alive. It looked like it was strikeout number 6, but it was just nicked ahead of home plate. The 3-2 again. Just outside for ball 4. John Singleton draws a walk. The first free pass issued by Connor Ash, and Michael Franco will step in.
It's a good fight by John Singleton. Again, we've been seeing him just being so effective at the plate and showing it off with his eyes there, especially being down 0-2 against Ash, who has just been dealing.
Well, that brings in Franco. A little number back in front of home plate his first time up. First pitch, line to left, a base hit. Singleton around second. He'll hold up. Dylan Thomas gets the throw into the cutoff man. Here come the Diablos, first and second. One away to bring up Ramon Flores.
Vamos, Diablo avanza, Diablo avanza. Peligro, peligro. Vamos a ir empatando este juego. Vamos a ver si empatamos ahora.
Trying to go with off speed again, and it just floated too high up this time around. Franco just turns on it and dumps it right into left field. Luckily, just station to station for the Cougars, so first and second instead of a runner at third.
The tying run sits in scoring position with one away in the top of the 4th. First pitch. Flores takes a strike. Six hits so far in the tournament, 6 for 17 now. Still batting over 350. Oh, 1, and it just misses in tight. And Ash has been very good with his locations so far. He's, again, mixing east to west, north to south well, and when he has missed his spot, it has not been very exaggerated.
And that's a lot different than what we saw in the first game from Connor Ash.
1-1, and it just misses up high.
But with that being said, he is up to 63 pitches already here in the 4th inning.
Some guys moving around in the Kane County bullpen, no one up and throwing yet, though. The 2-1. Swing and a foul, first base side. So that begs the question is, what is the line for Connor Ash today, and where does George Samus end up needing to start making moves or think about making moves?
Say as long as he's not in trouble, he'll let him go as far as he needs to go, but can't imagine it's going to be another inning or two before that pitch count is something you have to start to pay attention to.
The 2-2 in the dirt for ball 3. And this is where things will get interesting. It's a high tilt pitch. Runners at first and second, top of inning number 4. The Diablos were able to get out of their jam of their own back in the bottom of the 3rd inning. The 3-2. Swinging a foul, and we'll do it again.
The outcome of this at-bat is going to be big for momentum one way or another. If Diablos is able to load the bases on a walk with only 1 out, and we're going to hear this place start to get loud like this the entire next at-bat. Meanwhile, if Ash can find a strikeout, get to 2 outs, potentially get out of the inning unscathed.
3-2, taken on the outside corner. Strikeout number 6.
No, esa estaba afuera, muy afuera. No, 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 strike muy polémico. Qué momento.
Well, that is a clutch
No,
pitch
así no,
by
así
Connor
no,
Ash.
así no.
Just finding that outside corner, perfectly painted.
No, no,
Keith
no, no,
McConkey
no,
gives
no es lo mismo.
the signal,
Miren esto, miren esto.
and this place gets quiet.
Está afuera, pero por mucho, por mucho.
Here's Francisco Mejia. First pitch takes outside. Kyle Krieger now starting to get loose in the bullpen for the Kane County Cougars. The 1-0. Swinging a grab at first, off of Raywald, behind him. The ball trickles away, rounding third, heading home. The
Bien,
throw
bien,
from
bien,
Allen,
bien,
the
bien,
tap
bien,
by
bien.
Juan Fernandez. They got him at the plate.
Ah, no.
John
No,
Singleton
no, no,
trying
pero
to
entró
score
alguna.
on a ball that pinballed off of Raywald to Josh Allen backing him up, and a dot to Fernandez who applies the tag, ends the inning.
Buen out, buen out.
Another
Uy.
look. We
Parece
go
que sí,
to
pero-
the bottom of the fourth. Kane
Ah, es que
County
sí, que
leads
está cogiendo, que es lento.
1-0.
Uy, un out ahí bien cerquita. Bueno, estuvimos cerca.
Bold flavor in every sip. Well, a chaotic ending to the top of the fourth inning. A ball that was bouncing around the Kane County infield. We're now in the bottom of the fourth. 1-0 lead. First pitch to Todd Lott. He swings and fouls it off first base side. But the heads-up defense by Josh Allen behind Josh Raywald on a laser hit off the bat by Francisco Mejia. And a perfect throw catching John Singleton attempting to score from second base on a ball that barely left the infield. The 0-1 and slap the other way over the head of Rio Ruiz down the right field line. Kane County will start their bottom of the fourth with a leadoff knock coming from Todd Lott to bring up Josh Raywald.
Second time the leadoff man has been aboard for the Cougars. They weren't able to do anything about it in the third. But we are starting to see the Diablos wake up a little bit. They've gotten closer to scoring in every inning. You're going to need to start putting up some more runs if you're Kane County. And maybe it starts here in the bottom of the fourth.
I'll bring up Josh Raywald. One of the more dangerous sluggers across the American Association while in a Sioux Falls Canaries uniform. First pitch takes a called strike on the inside corner. While donning the Kane County colors, he has been a factor offensively. We've seen him a couple of doubles so far in the tournament, 3 runs batted in, but we have yet to see the thunder that has come from number 32. A long pause from Caprilli in the 0-1. Just off the outside to even things up. Justin Courtney back up on the mound for the Cougars in the, I beg your pardon, for the Diablos. In the right field bullpen, Kyle Krieger has sat down for the moment in the Kane County pen. A move to first, Todd Lott back in diving safely. Well, this is tight action so far. The solo home run off the bat of Dylan Thomas, that has been the difference maker so far. Both the Diablos and the Cougars have had multiple runners on base over the last few innings. 1-1, spoiled foul, 1-2.
It's been a rare pitching and defensive duel through the first 4.5 innings. I should say 3.5 innings.
Well, the Cougars have had a runner at second base now. Well, at least waiting here. They've had it in back-to-back innings. They're looking to continue that. The 1-2. Upstairs. But again, it's the pressure putting runners in scoring position that it will be a factor, especially as we roll along to the middle and late innings as teams start running out of outs. And the pressure of either a tight lead or a small deficit will become quite apparent. The 2-2. A swing over the top for strike 3. Josh Rayrall down on strikes. The first strikeout for Cabrillion since the first inning. It's his third of the ball game. One away from Max Murphy.
It's good presence and control once again from Caprillion. And again, he's outside of the home run he gave up to Dylan Thomas. He's done a pretty good job of controlling the Cougars outside of that hard hit ball by Fernandez in the second. He did have a walk and a hit by pitch in the third, but he recovered well, forcing that double play.
First pitch to Max Murphy, and he takes upstairs.
Again, we're only at 6 hits and 1 run combined. I mean, look at last night. How many do we have at that point already here at this point?
We're moving along at a good pace, but it has been low-scoring baseball so far. A 1-0, swing and a foul back from Murphy. Grounded out to the pitcher, Caprillion back in the second. Kane County has already had a couple of their guys step up. Connor Ash on the pitching side has been able to weather a couple of rally attempts from the Diablos. 1-1, smash to third through Michael Franco into left. Up to second goes Todd Lott. Max Murphy with a BB through the left side of the diamond. A thumbs up from Ray Zuber III on the Kane County bench.
Well, the old saying is hit the ball hard and good things will happen. That's exactly what he did on that screamer to the left side. Franco tried to drop the glove down with no success. And now the Cougars with another opportunity to strike here in the fourth.
Well, that ball was blistered down the third base side. And runners at first and second. And now it has been official for the third consecutive inning. Kane County has had a man in scoring position. They lead 1-0, and here comes Juan Fernandez. First pitch, takes a strike. It was a double back in the bottom of the second. He was left stranded to end the inning. The 0-1. Fouled off right field side, out of play, no balls and 2 strikes.
Can Caprillion go into his bag of tricks again and get out of his third straight inning with a runner in scoring position unscathed? It's looking good against Fernandez so far.
Maybe your last chance to do something against Caprillion. Justin Courtney is tossing in the Diablos bullpen, and he is ready to go whenever needed. The 0-2. Up high for a ball. How many opportunities will you get with runners in scoring position, especially with multiple men on base? Kane County with that 1-0 lead. And it's not sustainable, not at least in this ballpark, that is. The inning started with a Todd Lott single. Max Murphy aboard at first base after the 1-out knock. The 1-2. Swinging a ground ball to second. Sepulveda over to Gutierrez, 1 to first. And it's out for the double play. At the moment, it's a 6-4-3 twin kill to end the inning. And we will step aside. We go to the 5th. 1-0 Kane County.
That's a nice shade on you.
Strikeout so far for the right-hander. Multiple strikeouts in the 4th inning. And the 1st inning. 2-1 fouled off third base side.
On a good fight back here from Ash. I mean, he's been used to getting ahead in the count. Now falls behind 2-0, but able to find 2 more quick strikes. There's a very happy fan. Wow.
Come to a game, you could always find yourself with a souvenir from the field of play. The 2-2. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Number 7 for Connor Ash. 1 away in the top of inning number 5.
Well, we have seen this all year long last season in Kane County in the American Association. Connor Ash just settling into games and striking out hitters left and right. He has certainly kept his team in this one.
And he has had to work through a little bit of trouble back in that 4th inning. He had runners at first and second. Got a big strikeout on Ramon Flores. First pitch swinging sky to right. Max Murphy will look up, and this game is tied. Brian Gonzalez the other way into the
Y aquí se viene la primera. Jonronazo de los Diablos de México. Bien hecho, estamos patando en el 5º. González la metió a 393 pies, salida de 106 millas. Tremendo palo. 46, 41.3 de ángulo de salida. Le respondimos como mismo. Jonrón por jonrón.
Well, and this crowd finally was something to get excited about. 1-1, brand new ball game just like that. It's been one mistake from James Caprillion and now one mistake from Connor Ash. And we're restarting.
First pitch to Carlos Sepulveda. Takes a called strike. 2 solo home runs are the scoring so far. The 0-1. A called strike 2. Kyle Krieger still throwing in Kane County's bullpen. Connor Ash at 77 pitches. The 0-2. Down low. It's the solo shots that you can live. However, though, after the way Connor Ash has been cruising, that is the last thing you would have liked to see is the Brian Gonzalez ambush home run.
Yeah, but it just seemed like it was bound to happen eventually. I mean, a shutout is so hard to do.
Flipped in the left. This will hang up Dylan Thomas in a few steps, but backs up to make the second out of the inning.
We did see one in this tournament, but it's rare. Only the second we've ever seen in BCL play, but a good bounce back from Connor Ash after giving up the big fly to Gonzalez to get Sepulveda to fly out to left.
Well, in this ballpark specifically, you can probably count on just one hand how many times a shutout has occurred.
Absolutely.
So here's Moises Gutierrez. It has been a tough day for the Diablos 2-hitter. He struck out both times. The first pitch. Swing and a slow roller, first base side, and foul. 1-1, your score line here from Mexico City. In a heavyweight matchup, and so far we are being treated to tight baseball. The 0-1. Downstairs. One flip the other way, softly hit, falling fast and falling in a base hit in front of Thomas. Moises Gutierrez with a 2-out single to extend the inning. George Samus out of the third base dugout in a hurry. He takes a look at that left field bullpen. And Lope will swing the door open, and Kyle Krieger will start making his way in. But Connor Ash, he was dealing until the solo home run off the bat of Brian Gonzalez. And the Diablos chase him in the top of the fifth. We step aside for the new pitcher.
Bueno, el inning por lo menos se fue con productividad de una carrera. El juego está empatado, vamos avanzando. Y buen juego de pelota. ¿Qué piensan ustedes? ¿Quién se lleva la victoria? ¿Quién se lleva la victoria en esta final de la Champions League de béisbol? Déjenme en los comentarios, díganme algo.
Jeremiah Johnson is simply a world-class, straightforward, no-nonsense beer. Do well.
Kyle Krieger now up on the mound. First pitch to Jose Marmoleos is taken for a called first strike. Connor Ash was brilliant. 4 2/3, 5 hits, a run allowed. It was earned. He's responsible for Moises Gutierrez at first. 1 walk and 7 strikeouts. The 0-1. Swing and a fly ball to left. But it's hanging up for Dylan Thomas, who's on the warning track to end the inning. We go to the bottom of the 5th at the halfway point. We're tied here from Mexico City, 1-1.
In the heart of Montana's untamed wilderness, a legend is brewing. Jeremiah Johnson Brewing, the official beer of the Big Sky.
Final, first pitch, called a strike. That wraps up the day for James Cabrillion. He was good. 4 innings, 4 hits, a run, a walk, and 3 strikeouts.
Numbers we thought we'd see from both of the aces of the Diablos and Cougars, putting them in great positions, both sides, at a 1-1 game to have a chance to win it.
The 0-2. Swing and a miss. Good start from Justin Courtney. A strikeout of Claudio Final. 1 away.
It's got to feel good for Courtney's confidence. It was a rough stretch against the Cougars in that first game. 7 earned runs, 2 home runs allowed. And as you said, trying to find some revenge here in this championship game.
From Bangor, Maine, University of Maine, born and raised, was thinking about starting his career in professional hockey. Had an opportunity to play both hockey and baseball at the University of Maine. If he just played 1 more year of hockey, he would have been eligible for the NHL draft. Instead, the baseball route gave him an opportunity, and he took it, and here he is now in Liga Mexicana de Baseball as an all-star for the Diablos. And takes upstairs. From the bullpen to the starting rotation, it was a tough turnaround after being one of the more dominating arms in the 2024 season. Of course, winning a championship with Diablos, the 1-1. There's a called strike on the inner half. To 2025, where he was brilliant in 14 starts. A 5.23 ERA, which is considered very well, especially in this ballpark when you're pitching over half of your games here. 51 strikeouts in 65 1/3 innings. The 1-2. A swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts. Justin Courtney on his A game here on Championship Sunday. 2 away in the top of the order. Coming up, Elvis Peralta.
Yeah, it's definitely looking like compared to that first game, he's getting a lot more snap on his breaking stuff and finding his locations a lot better than he was in that first game against the Cougars. And, you know, this is going to be the story for both sides the rest of the way through, the bullpens, and who is going to come out on top in that battle. And whatever the answer is, that's probably who's going to win this game.
Well, I talked with Justin just a couple of days ago prior to their game versus Dantos, and he said he was still getting used to the elevation, had a full off-season workload pitching in the Dominican Winter League, got married, ended up coming back into Mexico City just about a week and a half before the tournament, and for almost every one of these pitchers, it has been a grind to, once again, readjust to the 7,000 feet of elevation. And just looking at the way some of the pitchers were reacting after doing their wind sprints earlier, I can tell that it is not easy to be down here as a professional athlete in Mexico City. The 1-1. That skips in the dirt. And again, it is just one of those instances where you just have to get yourself used to pitching here. I mean, we saw that at the beginning of the tournament. Pitchers were getting a lot more fatigued earlier on, and now they have adjusted and they've acclimated to the dryness and the high elevation, and that's why we're seeing a low-scoring affair here on Championship Sunday. A big swing from Elvis Peralta, and the count evens to 2-2.
Well, and I think the back half of pool play, take out last night, we definitely saw closer and lower scoring games overall than the first couple of games. Now, they were still some double-digit games, but comparatively, I think the pitchers have definitely started to settle in and have gotten used to the elevation.
Well, Justin Courtney has looked like the ace stuff that he was last year for Diablos. The 2-2. Takes up high, overcooks the gas, and now it's full 3-2. And the velocity is up. Back on Tuesday, the velocity from Courtney was right around 90 to 91. He's up to 93. He can rush it up to 95, 96 when he needs to. The 3-2. Swinging a ground ball to first. Handled by Ruiz, who takes it himself to the bag. A 1-2-3 breezy inning for Justin Courtney. We're through 5. Tied going into the 6th at 1. as the preferred supplier of the AAPB. Since 1986, Champro has developed high-performing sporting goods in a mission to inspire people to be team players for life. Visit champrosports.com or follow at Champro Sports on Instagram to learn more. Oh, Kyle Krieger is back out to work for the Kane County Cougars in the middle of the gauntlet. John Singleton, Michael Franco, and Ramon Flores due up in order. First pitch fastball sears the inside at 93 for a called first strike. And Kyle Krieger used to be a top arm in the bullpen for Louisiana Tech University, but it was with the Fargo-Moorhead Redhawks in 2025 that he's really come into his own as a starting pitcher. An all-star at 7-5 on the year, a 3.64 ERA, 88 strikeouts in 108 2/3 innings of work. Only allowed 4 home runs, just 48 runs, 44 of which were earned as one of the top pitchers in the American Association, alongside with current teammate here with the Kane County Cougars for the BCL tournament, Jake Dykoff. Those two were a 1-2 punch to face. Going back to his roots from the bullpen. Big rip from Singleton, fouled off softly. And it is the intensity that Kyle Krieger brings to the ballpark every day that manager Chris Coase, who's on the bench coach for George Samus, just loves to see. The intensity, the high competitiveness. 2-2 is spoiled foul. And this is the type of demeanor that you're looking for. Someone who has that firepower and, again, has that fire underneath their seat to take the mound and pitch against one of the most damaging offenses in professional baseball. The 2-2. Swinging a line drive to center. Falling fast and falling in a base hit. John Singleton, a two-strike single to open up the top of the 6th. That brings up Michael Franco.
Well, he's 0 for 1 so far in this one. He did walk in that 4th inning after a tough at bat against Connor Ash. And here, just able to go right back up the middle and finally get aboard with his first hit of the game.
So we'll get a new baseball in play.
And Krieger, like Justin Courtney, is looking for a bounce-back game. Against the brothers, he pitched 2, walked 4, and had 2 earned runs. A couple of doubles as well.
The first pitch to Franco. Zips in a strike. That's a good sign when his fastball is running around 93 to 94. More action in Kane County's bullpen. Another right-hander starting to move around. 0-1, swing and a miss. Spins a bullet slider outside. No balls and 2 strikes. The 0-2. Taken for a call, 3rd strike. Kyle Krieger comes back with a big K. Michael Franco goes down looking. One away to bring up Ramon Flores.
Boy, he put on a display of all his pitches right there. Started that at-bat off with power, finished it with finesse. Beautifully painted on the bottom edge to get Michael Franco looking.
That brings up Ramon Flores. And he's had a tough day. He has struck out both times he faced Connor Ash. The first pitch, a breaking ball taken for a strike. One is taken down low. Art Warren, a former big leaguer, starting to get loose in the bullpen for the Cougars.
Another guy with a lot of power on his fastball. Been seeing that in the tournament.
The 1-1. Swing and a rip foul, right field into the netting.
Ramon Flores is 0 for 2 tonight with 2 strikeouts, but he had 2 home runs in back-to-back innings against the Crocodiles. He's another bat just like about every other bat in this Diablos lineup that can snap at any point.
A pitching duel here in the middle innings. We're in the top of the 6th, all tied at 1. The 1-2. Swing and a line drive right center field. It's down, a base hit. Singleton around second, heads for third. Pushing for second, Flores. The throw in from Upshaw is off target. Here come the Diablos. Second and third, one away here in the top of inning number 6.
Well, right on cue. This crowd is loving it. Chants are ringing out as we see Flores just dump one into right center field all the way to the wall, put 2 runners in scoring position with just 1 out. And Krieger's going to get tested here at the bottom part of the order due up.
Well, the infield will be drawn up point blank, but before then, Juan Fernandez, a veteran move, will go out and give his right-hander a bit of a time to just relax. And there's George Samus, the manager for Kane County, and what is in his cards. He's got a full deck in the bullpen. But the dealer is showing a couple of aces on the bases.
Well, in a game like this, more so than any game we've seen so far, these runs mean a lot. I mean, if we could see Mejia hit one into the outfield and score 2, that is 2 massive runs that seem tougher to get back in today's game more than any game we've seen so far.
The infield will be playing point-blank range up close. Outfield will play deep and spread out. The first pitch to Francisco Mejia. He takes a called first strike. Well, he had a ground ball that was hit to Josh Raybold that pinned off the Cougars first baseman. It was Josh Allen who threw a strike to nail. John Singleton attempting to score from second, and again, Juan Fernandez goes out and he wants to be on the same page with Kyle Krieger. The battery mates from the Kane County Cougars come together and they separate for an 0-1. Pretty darn good crowd packed in here inside Estadio Alfredo Harpelou for Championship Sunday. A BCL play. The 0-1. Swinging a cue shot to shortstop. Peralta will look Singleton back. Back to first in time for the out. A huge second out of the inning. The crowd once again goes down to a murmur. And that will bring up Rio Ruiz.
Exactly what the doctor ordered if you're Kyle Krieger in this defense for the Cougars. Just a soft grounder to Elvis Peralta, who's already playing in, to get that second out, and it looks like it'll go to Art Warren to try to find out number 3.
George Samus with a clap of the hand and a pat on the back of Kyle Krieger. Lopey swings the door open from the bullpen. Here comes Art Warren as we step aside here in the middle of the 6th. right here on AA Baseball TV, and it is a good one. It's tight 1-1 in the top of the 6th inning between the Diablos Rojos del Mexico and the Kane County Cougars. There's Art Warren back up on the bump. The hard-throwing right-hander from Defiance, Ohio, was taken in the 23rd round of the 2015 Major League Draft by the Seattle Mariners, who made his debut with the M's back in 2019, is now on a big stage here in BCL play, with the runners at second and third, 2 outs for Rio Ruiz. The first pitch, swing and a popped up, foul third base side and into the stands. A hard-throwing right-hander, Art Warren, split time in 2025 in the Atlantic League and here in LMB. At the age of 33 years old, as runners at second and third. The 0-1. Fastball rushes outside.
And he's definitely a guy we can see run up the miles per hour on his pitches. That one coming in at 97. The key for Art Warren, though, is to control that velocity. We have seen him walk a couple in this BCL. He also has struck out 3, because when he can put it over the plate, it is hard to catch up to.
The 1-1. Outside for ball 2. This inning started with Kyle Krieger. There was a leadoff single by John Singleton, who's at third. A strikeout of Michael Franco.
97 millas está tirando
A
este
double
pitcher
by
realista.
Ramon
Es
Flores.
difícil sacarle los
The
brazos.
ground out
Vamos
to
a ver si
Francisco
Ruiz
Mejía.
puede hacer contacto y desempatar el juego.
2-1. Swing and a miss. Gets Ruiz to go chasing the buried slider. Count evens to 2-2.
2 strikes have been sliders, 2 misses have been fastballs. Be interesting to see what Art tries to go with here.
And a tie game 1-1 in the top of inning number 6. The 2-2. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Art Warren fired up on the hill. And the Kane County Cougars dodge another inning. We go to the bottom of the 6th, all tied at 1. Here from Estadio Alfredo Harpelú, it's the 2026 BCL Final. The first pitch. Swing and a shot to center. Twisting and turning Ramon Flores. He will have to play it off the wall. Josh Allen rolls into second base. It's a leadoff double. And the Cougars have the go-ahead run in scoring position in the bottom of inning number 6.
Well, Josh Allen's big tournament continues. That's his 8th hit and 3rd double to go along with those 2 home runs. And now a huge representative run for the Cougars at second base to try to get this lead back in the bottom of the 6th.
That brings up the only man with an rub batted in so far. It's Dylan Thomas. He had the solo home run to open the scoring back up in the bottom of inning number 1. The first pitch to Thomas. He takes up high for ball 1. Justin Corney has faced Thomas before. Take you back to the 2024 season, the Winnipeg Goldeyes taking on the Fargo-Moorhead Redhawks out in Newman Outdoor Field. Time is called, and we will see a quick visit from Francisco Mejia. And so what is going through the mind of that Kane County Cougars bench? It's been a tight contest. You've had multiple chances to add to your lead. And then after Diablos tied it on the solo shot in the 5th, Kane County has also escaped a couple of tight jams in the last few innings.
I think it's the best pitching they faced so far in this tournament. I mean, they've only found 5 hits, 1 run. It's unlike what we've seen from Kane County. They haven't had that big inning where we've seen pretty much every bat come up to the plate. But I think Allen having that huge leadoff double, if they can have something here from Dylan Thomas, maybe that's the spark that gets it all going.
The 1-0. Swing and a foul. Shot down the right field line. Count evens.
That was a good thought. I mean, we have seen, again, Marmoleos just plain drifted over in that right field. So anything that goes down that right field line generally leads to at least a double, and with Dylan Thomas's speed, potentially a triple.
The 1-1. Swing and a floater. Shallow left field. No man's land. It falls in. Rounding third, heading home Allen. Here's the throw from Gonzalez. It is up the line. Dylan Thomas strikes again. RBI single. He moves up to second. Kane County retakes the lead 2-1 in the bottom of the 6th.
Well, Josh Allen's baseball IQ is showing all over this game. We saw him make a key throw at the plate on a snap. And now here, this ball gets lifted up. He didn't take long, him meaning Josh Allen, to turn around and see this was going to land, and he got on his horse. Despite a good throw by Gonzalez, Allen able to slide in to get this lead back, and great base running as well by Dylan Thomas.
That ball was hit from Thomas. He was saying 2 things, go, 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 and drop, drop, drop. First pitch, Todd Lott through the left side, a base hit. Chris Coase will give Dylan Thomas the stop sign at third. Todd Lott with a single, 3 consecutive hits for the Cougars. And they've got runners at the corners for big Josh Raywald.
Seems like they've got something cooking at the plate. Todd Lott, back-to-back hits now in the 4th and here in the 6th. Dylan Thomas getting himself in scoring position, nobody out, and it is just relentless top to bottom in this Cougars lineup. He's still got to get through Raywald.
That's going to bring a mound visit out to talk with Justin Courtney and Francisco Mejia and the rest of the Diablos infield. So that begs the question again. We just saw the response from Kane County. We just talked about that. The shutdown inning coming back after a rally brought up by the Diablos. So what is the line here for the Cougars to feel comfortable going into the back third of the ball game?
I think as many as you can get is the easy answer, but at least getting these 2 that are out here, and I think stretching that to 3-4 runs and relying on that bullpen that's been so strong for the Cougars, not only in the American Association last season, but so far here in the BCL as well. Wouldn't be surprised to maybe see Warren go out another inning, depending on where the lead is, before passing it over to Logan Nissen and then Jake Gozo in the 9th to close the show. But there's a lot of baseball left to be played before they get to that point.
Well, both of those dugouts have legendary managers running the show. George Samus for the Cougars, Lorenzo Bundy for Diablos. First pitch to Raywald, a check swing. And Raywald goes around for a swing and strike.
And Well, it's interesting for Diablos. I mean, it was such a strong 5th inning from Justin Courtney. 2 strikeouts in that soft grounder to first. They didn't have anybody warming up, and they still don't, despite 3 straight hits being given up.
0-1. Josh Raywald was looking to plate all 3. He comes up empty 0-2.
So Lorenzo Bundy putting a lot of faith in Justin Courtney to work himself out of this.
Well, there's a reason why he was an all-star in 2025, and he's looking for a big performance to shave this lead to just 1. The 0-2. Upstairs for ball 1. These are the situations that Josh Raywald was made for. To just lift and get a run in, and Thomas at third. A base hit through the right side could also do wonders with Todd Lott and his wheels. 1-2 stays north. And there is athleticism up and down this Kane County lineup. Even guys like Josh Raywald, they can motor around the base paths. Runners at the corners, a run already in for Kane County. The 2-2. Swing and a pop foul behind home plate. We will do this again.
Well, credit to Raywald. He was down 0-2, able to find a couple of balls, and now swinging here to keep himself alive. He's not been an easy out this entire tournament, and this at-bat is no exception.
The bottom of inning number 6, the Cougars with a run on the board to the RBI single from Dylan Thomas. He's been responsible for both RBIs on the day so far. Chance to add to it with Josh Raywald. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. The pitch home. Swing and a fly ball, foul down the right field line, out of play. Rinse and repeat.
He's not making it easy, and even if Courtney is able to finish off Raywald, still going to bring up Max Murphy, who's been having a great tournament, and Juan Fernandez right behind him. It's just nonstop. 1 through 9 in this Cougars lineup.
The low-scoring affair continues to roll through the middle innings. A chance to break it open just a little more. The 2-2. Check swing. Does he go around? No, says Carlos Leon at third. And Josh Raywald has forced the count to full 3-2.
He was close, but strong wrists. Carlos Leon saw enough to say he didn't go around. And now a big pitch coming up here for the Diablos and Justin Courtney.
Max Murphy awaits on deck. What will the situation be? 3 balls, 2 strikes. Runners take their leads off the corners. Swinging a foul will do this once again. A taxing at bat between Justin Courtney and Josh Raywald here in the bottom of inning number 6. An 0 for 2 day for Raywald. He grounded out to the second baseman Gutierrez and then struck out back in the 4th. The 3-2. Swing and a floater. Shallow center. It drops in, a base hit. Coming in to score is Thomas. Up to third goes Todd Lott. He gets there diving safely. Josh Raywald wins the battle against Justin Courtney. It's 3-1. Kane County in the bottom of the 6th.
What an at-bat by Josh Raywald, just making Justin Courtney work. And eventually it had to go right down the middle, and Raywald put it right back where it came from, dropped it perfectly in center field. An easy score for Dylan Thomas. Todd Lott getting himself over to third base, and the danger just keeps coming. That is 4 hits in a row for the Cougars here in the 6th.
And here's Max Murphy. A base hit his last time up. Has already had a base hit against Courtney back on Tuesday night. The first pitch. Inside, and it's fouled off. A former Goldeye on the mound in Courtney, and the legend of the Winnipeg Goldeyes, Max Murphy, in the batter's box. Power versus power. The high velocity from Justin Courtney. And the Gold Eyes franchise home run leader, the throw gets away from the first baseman Ruiz. In to score Todd Lott. The inning unravels for the Diablos. Up to second goes Josh Raywald. An attempted pickoff goes wide, and Kane County will steal a run. It's 4-1.
Yeah, this just gets airmailed by Justin Courtney. And there's not really much you can do about it if you're Ruiz, and it's just a trot-in for Todd Lott. And another runner in scoring position in Raywald. And these are the kind of mistakes you cannot make against this Kane County team.
So now up to second goes Josh Raywald. The 0-1 to Murphy. He takes a strike. Now 0-2. Nick Vespi starting to loosen up in the bullpen. The 0-2 is swung on and missed. This time Justin Courtney wins the battle. There's the first out of the inning. And in steps Juan Fernandez.
That's got to be a sigh of relief for Justin Courtney. I mean, this sixth inning has kind of gotten away from him and been unraveling a little bit. But finally getting a 3-pitch strikeout against Max Murphy. Trying to get himself course corrected here and hold that run at second.
The first pitch to Juan Fernandez. He takes a called strike. Just has enough on the outside for the home plate umpire, Keith McConkey. A 3-run bottom of the 6th inning. Kane County looks for more with Raywald in scoring position. The 0-1. Swing and a drive to left center field, but it's going to hang up for Ramon Flores. Back to second goes Raywald, 2 away.
Yeah, it looked like that one maybe had some potential to keep on drifting into left center field, but just held up. Flores makes a pretty routine catch as we take a look in at Nick Vespi.
There's a look at Nick Vespi getting loose for the Diablos in the right field bullpen. No one up and going in Kane Counties after Art Warren was able to smother the flames that the Diablos were starting to cook up in the top half of inning number 6. First pitch, breaking ball, swing and a miss. A hitless day so far for Claudio Final.
He's had a loud tournament, though.
He's had a big swing over the last few days. And he has a big swing here. Left center field. Claudio Final has taken Courtney deep again. A 2-run home run. A 5 spot for the Cougars. Six to 1 Kane County. They have knocked the teeth in on the Diablos here in the bottom of inning number 6.
478 feet. Almost 107 off the bat at Claudio Final. As he continues to make his mark on this tournament and on this Diablos team.
That will bring up the 8th man of the inning, Armand Upshaw. First pitch swinging on the ground, underneath the glove of Ruiz down the right field line. The F1 speed is rounding second. He's gonna try and hold up at second. Armand Upshaw with a little seeing-eye single down the right field line. And the Diablos faithful is showing their frustrations after a big inning from Kane County. And Lorenzo Bundy has seen enough. He's going back to the bullpen.
Look at Upshaw fly. I mean, a huge inning, and this is what the Cougars were missing, and they finally put it together here. It's going to be a tough road to the top now for the Diablos.
We step aside as Nick Vespi trots in from the right field bullpen. with just 2 outs in the inning and the top of the order coming up. It's Elvis Peralta who
Creo
will
que se nos
face
fue el
Nick
juego en este
Vespi,
inning, muchachos.
who's pitched 2 and a
6 por
third
1 va a
innings
ser
so
un
far
poco
in this
difícil.
tournament, and he's
Va a
been
ser un
touched up
poco
a bit.
difícil.
4
Pero
hits,
bueno,
3 runs,
no, porque
all
se puede
earned,
perder la
2
esperanza.
strikeouts, no walks, an 11.57 ERA so far in BCL play, and it'll be lefty-lefty matchup. Peralta looking for his first hit with Armand Upshot second. And the first pitch is bounced in for ball 1. 10 hits for Kane County. 6 of them coming here in the 6th inning. A big swing from Peralta on 1-0, and the count evens up.
Peralta currently the only Cougar without a hit, so a chance to kind of complete that puzzle.
The 1-1. Number foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And this is the kind of thing the Cougars have done in every single game. They just have found at least one inning where it was nonstop production. We've talked about how contagious the hitting has been, and they certainly showed it here with 6 hits in the 6th inning.
Big swings from Dylan Thomas, Josh Raywald, and Claudio Final. All have brought in runs. This was once a 1-1 ball game. Still far from over. The 1-2. Another fouled off, this time again by Peralta. Josh Allen, who started the inning with a ringing double off the center field wall, awaits on deck looking for his second swing of the 6th frame. The 1-2. Swinging a line drive the other way. Gonzalez twisting and turning. It's over his head and it goes to the wall. In to score Upshaw. Elvis Peralta the other way. It's a RBI double. 7-1. Kane County Cougars.
It's pouring in hits. Peralta had to go down and get this one. Gonzalez just with the wrong read. I mean, he took all the steps forward. He pretty much started where he needed to be and wasn't able to recover. Ball rolls to the wall and another run comes in. Big 7-1 score on the board now.
Kane County has batted around. It's back to Josh Allen, who started the inning off with that double. First pitch, swing and a miss. He would come around to score on a Dylan Thomas RBI single. A 6-run bottom of the 6th inning. The 0-1 takes a strike outside 0-2. And the crowd here inside of Estadio Alfredo Harpelou is shocked. A buzz that was in the top of the 6th inning has gone eerily quiet. The 0-2, a swing and a miss for strike 3, and the inning comes to a close, but not before Kane County throws up a 6 spot. They lead 7-1 as we go to the 7th. A good look at what has happened here inside of Mexico City. Kane County, 6 runs in the bottom of inning number 6. They now lead 7-1 as we are in the top of the 7th. Kane County just 9 outs away from calling themselves champions of the Americas. And it starts with Brian Gonzalez to the top of the order, Carlos Sepulveda and Moises Gutierrez against Art Warren, who has had quite a bit of time to reset. First pitch inside. Brian Gonzalez, a home run to tie the game up back in the top of inning number 5. The only offense so far for the Diablos. Takes a strike. So what's the response coming into the top of the 7th inning for Art Warren?
Yeah, that's the question, right? I mean, you just allowed the big inning. We finally saw it. We were wondering which team was going to do it first. And now in front of your own crowd, you have 9 outs left to play with. And definitely Brian Gonzalez, he's one with a home run already in this game to kind of set the tone if he can get a board and get the top of the order fired up. The problem is, this is how Kane County Cougars like to play baseball. They like to get ahead here in the late innings and go to the bullpen to close the show. It is their biggest strength.
A couple of guys moving around in that Kane County bullpen. No one has grabbed a ball and started throwing yet, though. Art Warren, he cooled things down in that top of inning number 6 after a base hit and a double put runners at second and third. A ground out and then a strikeout into the inning. Warren's 1-2. Slider misses outside. Trying to get
Diablos
Gonzalez
are
to
capable of
chase.
stringing together the hits, right? I mean, we saw it last night where it seemed like nobody could miss the baseballs. So it needs to be the same thing. They just need to find that contagious hitting gene to go all the way through this lineup one time.
The 2-2. He tries again to bite again. Gonzalez stays back, and the count runs the full 3-2. Well, the top of the order awaits Carlos Sepulveda. Art Warren trying to keep this right where it is here at 7-1. Three-two, foul back. This Diablos ball club, they can also strike as well. That first out is so imperative to each inning. The 3-2. Inside ball 4. Gonzalez opens up the inning with a walk. Leadoff man on, and the top of the order comes up.
Well, and that's a start. Competitive at bat by Brian Gonzalez that ends with him reaching first base on walks. And again, we've seen it before with Art Warren. That has been an issue, at least now his 3rd walk here in the BCL. If he can just not find his spots and allow freebies, that's another way that Diablos can start to get themselves back in.
Double barrel action in the Kane County bullpen. Derek Cherry from the right side up and throwing. The first pitch is Sepulveda. Fastball misses arm side and upstairs. And that will send Juan Fernandez to go talk with his reliever. Hitless so far today for the Diablos leadoff bat. A couple of ground outs and a fly out. The left-hander Jordan Martinson gets loose alongside with Derek Cherry beyond the left field wall. A leadoff walk to start the inning. 7-1 Kane County, but are still chasing 9 outs. The 1-0. Well outside for ball 2. And this is where you need to still proceed with caution. The gauntlet is coming up, 3, 4, and 5. The 2-0. Just misses outside for ball 3.
Sepulveda with a very, very nice approach here to get ahead 3-0. And you know he's not going to get cheated at the plate. Veteran bat on this Diablos team.
The 3-0. Low for ball 4. Back-to-back walks to open up the top of the 7th. Moises Gutierrez will now step in with runners at first and second and still nobody out.
Yeah, but not before he's going to hear from David Holmberg. And you wonder, I mean, there's such a strong bullpen for the Cougars, just how long of a leash Art Warren is going to get. He looked really good in that 6th inning, but back-to-back walks to start. I mean, again, you can't make mistakes against this Diablos team either.
Had a competitive plate appearance against Brian Gonzalez. He just lost him, and then 4 consecutive balls to Sepulveda. There's David Holmberg walking his way back towards the third base dugout. Well, the question is, how long will Art Warren be allowed to roll? It starts here with Moises Gutierrez. In a 6-run game, the Diablos with some momentum here in the back third. First pitch, breaking ball, takes for ball 1.
6 straight balls now thrown by Art Warren, so he needs to reel it back in.
Well, with a couple of left-handers following Gutierrez, this most likely would be Art Warren's last batter. 1-0, pours in a strike to even things up at 1-1. Gutierrez with a base hit back in the 5th inning. It was the last batter that Connor Ash saw. The 1-1. Down low for ball 2. This inning can get prickly, especially with the big boy bats coming up on deck and in the hole.
Yeah, it feels like Gutierrez is a guy that Warren definitely needs to go after. Now, he has a strong bat in his own right. He singled in the 5th, but him compared to Marmoleo, Singleton, and Franco, this is the one you want to go get.
The 2-1. Fastball sprayed up high for ball 3.
And things potentially getting bad to worse. Bases get loaded from 3 straight walks with Marmoleos and nobody out. That is a scary situation.
This crowd has come back alive. The 3-1. Takes a strike right at the bottom of the knees. And a full count to Moises Gutierrez, and this is a pivot spot. With Jose Marmoleos due up next on deck. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out, 2 runners on, and a 7-1 King County advantage.
About as loud as we've heard it in Alfredo Harpaloo.
Some mind games between Warren and Gutierrez. Warren stepped off the mound earlier. Gutierrez calls time. It's getting rowdy here in Mexico City. The 3-2. Swinging a foul, first base side. We'll do it again.
What does Art Warren go with to try to put away Gutierrez?
Love a strikeout, but you'd take a ground ball to a middle infielder. 3-2. Taken for a call, third strike. Right on the back door. And Art Warren is a huge first out in the top of the 7th. Here comes Jose Marmoleos.
That was beautiful by Art Warren. Didn't go with the speed, went off speed instead, and just brought it right back to the outside edge and froze Moises Gutierrez. Big out for the Cougars.
Well, Art Warren is staying up there. Earned himself another batter in Marmoleos. The first pitch. He takes a strike. Goes back to the back porch for 0-1.
He's found something with that outside edge. Wouldn't be surprised if that's where he tries to live against Marmoleos.
Well, he doesn't want to go inside. That is Marmoleos' kitchen. The 0-1. Fastball rushes outside. Well, a 6-run cushion only looks so large, but it still feels like it is well within reach. Gonzalez bouncing around second. He breaks for third. Pitch is swung on and crushed to right field. Max Murphy on his horse. He reaches up. He can't get it. It's to the wall. Rounding third, heading home is Gonzalez. Stopping at third base is Carlos Sepulveda. Jose Marmoleos has arrived on Championship Sunday. An RBI double. It's now 7-2 Kane County.
Well, he got something he loved here. Down the middle, and just he was living on that outside edge. It was perfect. He brought it in, and Marmoleos was all over it. Murphy tried to range over, but couldn't reach. It was an easy walk-in run for Gonzalez, and that'll be the end of the night for Art Warren.
George Samus goes out, and he will grab the right-hander. The bullpen door swings open, and the left-handed Jordan Martinson will come on in. We step aside here on AA Baseball TV.
Bien, bien, por Diablo, respondiendo. Tenemos todavía espacio. Se puede. Vamos, muchachos. Muchas gracias por las visualizaciones. Hay 23 personas que nos están viendo en este momento. ¿Qué piensan ustedes? ¿Diablo empata o no? Déjamelo ahí, dígamelo. Vamos. Denle like, compartan. Muchas gracias.
For this Diablos ball club in a pivotal spot. Has a 5-run cushion to play with, but that could go away in a blink of an eye. John Singleton has been big all tournament. The grand slam back on Friday evening against the Brothers. He was a big part of that puzzle piece against the Crocodiles last night. Lefty-lefty matchup. The first pitch. Swinging a line drive. Josh Allen makes the catch. In the shifted infield, that takes away a couple of runs. A big second out of the inning, and the job has been done by Jordan Martinson. He goes in to face the lone man of John Singleton, and the bullpen door swings open once again. Derek Cherry will take the trot in from the bullpen. Here with 2 outs now in the top of inning number 7. From the first pitch to the last out, Carbless is your game day companion. Smooth, bold flavor in a ready-to-drink can, perfect for enjoying all the action from the stands. Crack one open and make the most of every inning, every play, and every moment at the ballpark with Carbless. Bold flavor in every sip. We step aside.
This is going surprisingly well.
Yes, it is.
Ma'am, your carbless refill. Sir, same thing?
No thanks. More for beer guy.
Excuse me. That's a nice shade on you.
Carbless. Don't overthink it.
Derek Cherry now up on the hill, and again, it's another pivotal spot. So far, the Cougars have avoided one of the three bats in this gauntlet of the middle of the order. John Singleton lying down facing Jordan Martinson, and he did his job. The lefty-lefty matchup, and now it's on the hands of Derek Cherry facing a former foe in Michael Franco. It's the electric stuff from the young right-hander from Baytown, Texas. Represents the Winnipeg Goldeyes in the American Association. But here today, he's looking to keep this right where it's at for the Kane County Cougars, who have a 5-run lead with 2 outs in the top half of inning number 7. The big spot on the shoulders of the young 25-year-old. The first pitch. Swing and a miss. A BB of a slider falls off the outside corner for 0-1.
Been a solid BCL for Cherry. 1 2/3, only 2 hits allowed, 2 runs, neither earned, but he struck out 3 as well.
He pitched in the shutout against the Crocodiles a couple of days ago. The 0-1. Swing and a foul, first base side into the crowd. It's 0-2.
It's a big moment late for both these teams. For the Diablos, if Franco can clear the bases, all of a sudden you're staring down a 3-run game. If Cherry can shut the door, you keep a 5-run lead with 2 to play.
7 outs remaining for Kane County. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Top of inning number 7. Cougars leading 7-2. Cherry's 0-2. Swing and a line drive to left. Sinking in is Dylan Thomas. He makes the catch on the run. Derek Cherry keeps things where it's at. Kane County will take this to the bottom of the 7th to stretch with a 5-run lead. We'll be back on AA Baseball TV. Brewing Company, built for the ballpark. Cold, crisp, and ready for game time. From Blonde Ale to Citra IPA to Mountain Man Scotch Ale, Jeremiah Johnson Brewing Company. Drink like you mean it. A good look inside of Estadio Alfredo Harpelu for the bottom of inning number 7. Dylan Thomas will lead things off. It was an RBI single back in the 6th to get Kane County at a 2-1 lead that would eventually turn to a 7-1 lead. A run in the top of inning number 7 for the Diablos, so we're here at 7-2. Nick Vespi back out to work. 0-1 bounces in.
It's been a very good day for Dylan Thomas. That leadoff home run to get everything started, but also to drive in Josh Allen and put the Cougars back up early in that 6th inning.
1-1 fouled off. The Cougars at the moment are just 6 outs away from bringing a title back to the United States. But there's still plenty of work that needs to be done. And for many of these guys that are on this Kane County Cougars roster, guys like Dylan Thomas, Todd Lott, those guys have been here and done that in BCL play. A check swing on the ground over to second. Throw to first will be in time. A little ground out to start off the bottom of the 7th. But they've been here and done that, whether it's BCL play or it is the American Association. They have played for championships before. What do the final 6 outs mean on defense?
I think it means so much already, just from the legacy that they started in the American Association going back to back, and then to bring that talent here to the BCL and win that. I mean, we kind of talked about it before in this tournament, how much of a jump start and motivation that these guys can use to start their season in the American Association.
First pitch, swing over the top to Todd Lott.
But specifically to win the BCL, I mean, you're not just competing against your fellow, members in the American Association and those teams. This is worldwide. I mean, we're talking all over Latin America, Central America, Chinese Taipei, and to say that you're the best of that group, that's a whole nother achievement.
Tomohiro Inaku starting to get loose in the bullpen for the Diablos. A swing and miss for strike 3 on Todd Lott. 2 quick outs to start off the bottom of the 7th. That brings up Josh Raywald.
This game feels a lot closer than it is. I mean, 5 runs here in Mexico City is very achievable, but a lot that has to do with that. Diablos have left 8 people on base in this game, and 5 of those were in scoring position. It's just been a good job by the Cougar pitching and defense to stay ahead.
Josh Raywald had an RBI single back in that 6th inning. The wind in the 2-0. Swing and a poke out to right. Marmoleos makes the catch. 1-2-3, go the Cougars. To the 8th. Last 6 outs for Kane County. We step aside on AA Baseball TV. County. Derek Cherry back out to work after getting Michael Franco to line out to end the top of the 7th, and it will start with Ramon Flores. First pitch taken for strike 1. The 0-1, just off the inside. Brady Puckett starting to get loose for the Cougars beyond the left field wall. The 1-1. Swing and a high fly ball. Right center field, Armand Upshaw in pursuit. Will camp underneath it for the first out. Kane County is 5 outs away from lifting BCL 2026.
It's been a nice job here in relief. First from Jordan Martinson, getting the big bat out of John Singleton, and then Derek Cherry coming in here to close it against Michael Franco in the 7th. And get a quick start against Ramon Flores, who just doubled his last time up.
That brings up Francisco Mejia. 0 for 3 on the day so far. First pitch swinging, pulls it foul. Cherry's 0-1. Swing and a foul back. Nothing in 2 now.
Been very efficient from Derek Cherry since he's entered the game. Only 1 ball thrown to 7 strikes. You're going to find a lot of success if that's your ratio.
Expected to be a top arm in the American Association out of the bullpen in 2026. The 0-2. Swinging a line drive to center. Upshaw charging in. That ball takes a turn, and Upshaw takes a slip. To center field, it goes to the wall. Mejia around second. He's going to burn to third base. He's going to get there standing up. A knuckler that was spinning around in center field. Upshaw loses his footing. And a 1-out triple for Francisco Mejia.
Maybe the spark this Diablos team needs. It's in center field. Upshaw, I think you said it, was kind of just knuckleballing out there. Thought maybe he could lay out and make a play on this. By the time he realized his line was off, he just slipped and unfortunately rolled to the wall and gets Mejia all the way to third.
One of the hardest balls to judge is a line drive hit directly at you, and certainly there was no exception on that play. So here's Rio Ruiz. A base hit and 2 strikeouts for him so far. First pitch swinging, skies it down the left field line, but it will go foul.
Well, this is where the Diablos have been lacking. They have not been able to produce with runners in scoring position in this game. And credit to the Cougars, who have been just shut down even though they face some adversity and that bend don't break mentality.
The Diablos just have 1 hit with runners in scoring position so far today. That was the double by Jose Marmoleos back in the 7th. The 0-1, just below the knees. The 1-1, swinging a foul off the back foot. 1-2. Well, Derek Cherry already has won a championship this offseason. It was in China during the winter play. He's been in big moments like this so far. He's back up on the mound, securing a 7-2 lead. The 1-2, swinging a foul back. We'll do this again.
Good fight by Rio Ruiz, who has gone down his last 2 at-bats by way of the K. And Cherry's certainly trying to hunt one here. Get that big second out for the Cougars in the top of the 8th.
Cougars holding on to a 5-run cushion. The 1-2. Swing and a tapper foul, and we'll do it once again. Derek Cherry's going to need to go into his full bag of tricks. A lengthy at-bat against Rio Ruiz. Cherry's 1-2. Swinging a line drive right center field. It's going to get to the wall. Coming on in, Mejia to second with the RBI double, Rio Ruiz. It's now a 4-run game, 7-3.
Well, a lot of the life on this Diablos team has really come with the 7, 8, and 9 hitters. 3 runs, 2 RBIs on 4 hits just between those 3. And Ruiz coming in clutch with Brian Gonzalez, who already has a home run in this game, due up next.
That brings up Brian Gonzalez. He started off the 7th inning with a leadoff walk. He would come in to score on the Marmoleos double. He also hit a home run back in the 5th inning. I'll send Juan Fernandez to go talk with the young 25-year-old.
Well, if you're Derek Cherry, you can afford 1 run. If he can get out of this 7-3, that is a big enough cushion on paper for the Cougars to have a chance to add more in the bottom of the 8th and use that strong back-end bullpen to close the show. But you only have 1 out. There's still a runner in scoring position. Cherry's got to make sure he doesn't let this inning get away from him, and all of a sudden, the momentum is completely flipped.
It's back-to-back extra base hits for the Diablos. So in steps Brian Gonzalez. The first pitch. Chops it to third, giving ground Final. Has it played comfortably. Throws across to first. In time, 2 away. Ruiz pushes the third, and here comes the top of the order, Carlos Sepulveda.
Adios míos, Claudio Final. That was hard hit, tough bounce, having to field it down low and spin. Slip his feet around and throw all the way across the diamond and still beat him by a step. Huge play by Final.
That's a tricky ball because he had a couple of options. Charge in for the short hop or play the gamble and get the long hop, and he played the long hop strong enough to at least get the out. A hitless 4 plate appearances so far for the Diablos leadoff batter, Sepulveda. 2 ground outs, a fly out. He walked his last time up, was left stranded in the 7th. The 1-0. In the dirt, Juan Fernandez knocks it down. 2-0.
Juan Fernandez has been a wall behind home plate tonight. A couple of tricky balls that he had to jump in front of, especially with runners at third base. That bounces away. A couple of runs might be added to this score for Diablos.
It's been a bit of a taxing inning for Cherry. 1 run scratched across for the Diablos. He's trying to leave the second one 90 feet away. 2-0. A bullet slider on the inner corner for a strike at the knees.
You know what's wild is even though it's been a bit of a taxing inning for Cherry, he's still only thrown 4 balls, and 2 of them in this at-bat. So it's really just been Diablos fouling pitches off, staying alive, and using their bat to keep themselves against Cherry.
The 2-1. Swing and a high fly to right. Shallow. Max Murphy crashes in. He's there to make the catch. And now Kane County is 3 outs away from being called champions of the baseball world. We go to the bottom of the 8th.
going surprisingly well.
Yes, it is.
Ma'am, your card was refilled. Sir, same thing?
No thanks. More for beer guy.
Excuse me. That's a nice shade on you.
Carbless. Don't overthink it.
Step in now and take the ball for the Diablos. He'll face Max Murphy, the 0-1. Foul back, 0-2. The fourth pitcher used by Lorenzo Bundy and the Diablos Rojos del Mexico. Murphy with a base hit back in the fourth inning. A 1-for-3 day. He struck out swinging back in the sixth inning. The 0-2. Takes a called third strike. One gone to open up the bottom of the eighth. I'll bring up Juan Fernandez.
Been a tough day for Max Murphy at the plate. He's been having a good tournament up to this point.
This copyright telecast is presented by the authority of the Baseball Champions League. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent. First pitch to Juan Fernandez is taken for ball one. Fernandez, a base hit back in the second. It was a double. He was left stranded. Called strike, count evened at 1. Jake Gozzo starting to get loose in the bullpen for the Cougars. Swing and a miss. 1-2 on Fernandez, and he'll call time and get a reset.
It's been a good tournament so far for Enraku. 2 appearances, an inning peach, only 2 hits allowed, no earned runs, 2 strikeouts, now 3. Setting down Max Murphy.
Cougars up by 4. The 1-2. Spoiled foul. This is one of the guys you want up, especially in this 8th inning, just to try to spark a little bit of momentum. Now already having a 4-run lead is momentum enough, but just to give your defense a chance to settle in before the 9th inning. Fernandez, one of the best contact bats in the American Association. The 1-2. Swing and a poke, and it will dunk in ahead of Carlos Sepulveda and in between Brian Gonzalez. A 1-out single to bring up Claudio Final.
Multi-hit day now for Juan Fernandez, and he's looked even better behind the dish. The way he's been stopping balls and not allowing anything to go to the wall. But setting himself up at first base with a man that just mashed a homer back in the 6th, the Claudio Final.
That 2-run home run looks so imperative now, especially where we stand at this point. First pitch buried in the dirt. The 1-0. Big rip from Final. He comes up empty to even things up at 1-1.
Well, he kind of touched on it. This lead looked a lot bigger in the 6th inning, but it's been 2 unanswered now by the Diablos. It's just 4 runs. You could definitely use some insurance if you're Kane County.
In the dirt, Fernandez stays put. If Kane County can find a way to scratch at least just 1 run, what does that do for their 9th inning ambitions?
I think it raises it quite a bit. 4 is already good, but obviously the elements play a huge factor being here in Mexico City. But Gozzo, one of the most reliable, if not the most reliable arm in the 9th inning in the American Association.
On the ground at third, stabbed by Franco to second 1. On to first in time, the double play. Kane County, 3 outs away from calling them champions of the baseball world. We go to the 9th. The Cougars lead by 4. time in the American Association. 1-0 is taken for a strike.
Picked up a save in the Miles Wolf Cup final and got the win in the final game against the Sioux Falls Canaries.
Gutierrez, Jose Marmoleos, and John Singleton, the gauntlet. Downstairs for ball 1. Make that ball 2, I beg your pardon.
Seen Gozo for 2 innings in this tournament. He's allowed 2 hits, 2 walks, 1 strikeout, but no earned runs, and that is the key piece of information here in the 9th.
Gutierrez already has the hat trick today of 3 strikeouts. He's 1 for 3 with a base hit. 2-1, slice the other way. Dylan Thomas in pursuit, near the line, has room, makes the catch. 1 gone here in the top of the 9th inning. The Cougars are 2 outs away. And they can start feeling it down in that third base dugout.
Good track by Dylan Thomas all the way to the wall. Just in front of the wall, I should say, in the warning track. And you said it, just 2 outs to go.
So now it's Jose Marmoleos. A multi-hit day. He had an RBI double back in the 7th inning. First pitch. Floats in a strike. 0-1. The 0-1. Takes a called strike 2. A slider at the knees. No balls and 2 strikes on Jose Marmoleos. Swing and a miss. Jake Gozo gets Jose Marmoleos down on strikes. And the Cougars are now 1 out away from calling themselves champions of the baseball world.
Se acerca el equipo americano a la victoria. Merecidamente ha hecho un mejor juego. Evidentemente tiene mejor equipo, se ha presentado muy bien. Todavía queda un último chance. Vamos a ver qué hacemos.
1 for 3. First pitch fastball rushed upstairs at 96.
Gracias a todos por los likes, gracias a todos por los comentarios. Gracias a todos por participar.
1-0 downstairs for ball 2. The Cougars have come into the Devil's Playground, have won 4 consecutive games in pool play, and now are an out away from a flawless 5-0. The 2-0 misses up and away for ball 3.
We'll see how much Gozo is going to be interested in trying to come back against John Singleton.
That 27th out is always the one that lingers. 3-0, zips on the inside corner for a strike.
It's a nice pitch by Gozo, 94 miles an hour. Spoke with him before we left, and he said, we know what this moment means, and we know what we have to do.
3-1, swing and a pop-up, shallow left field. Dylan Thomas camps underneath it, and the King County Cougars
Chirrin chirrán, se acabó el partido. Merecida victoria. Desgraciadamente Diablos no pudo avanzar, hizo lo posible, pero se encontró con un equipo sólido, como el equipo americano en este torneo. Muchas gracias a los usuarios que se conectaron, a los que dieron like, a todos los que comentaron. Por favor, compartan y que tengan un excelente domingo. Nos vemos en la próxima. Seguimos en contacto.
On the biggest bat in this lineup, down 3-0, gets a strike, gets that weak contact, and that reaction says it all in the Cougar bullpen.
What a performance by the Kane County Cougars. They come in on game 1 back on Tuesday night, and they take down one of the evil empires of the baseball world. And now here they are on Sunday afternoon, and they will host a Baseball Champions League trophy and send it back to the United States.
Well, there's a happy George Samus. Came here yet last year, didn't win, got all the way and wanted to face this Diablos team. He felt really good about the squad that he brought into Mexico City this year. 4-0 in pool play and a 7-3 tough win against this Diablos team.
Connor Ash was brilliant. 4 2/3 innings, struck out 7, 1 walk, a run on 5 hits. Kyle Krieger followed up with an inning of his own, gave up just 2 hits, struck out a batter. Art Warren followed with 2/3, gave up a hit, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. Jordan Martinson behind him, a third of an inning, blanked the Diablos. Derek Cherry followed up with an inning and a third of his own, and then Jake Gozo came in to close the door. A final of 7-3. A run in the first, 6 runs in the 6th. The Diablos a run in the 5th, 7th, and 8th. There's a reason to celebrate in that third base dugout.